Hi, my name is Omer, and this video is Data 608, the final project. This project, the purpose of the final project is to visualize suicide rates and try to find out a correlation between GDP by country and look at the suicide profile among the countries in globally. Um, um, for that project, I basically create these Shiny apps. So you can see that we have a couple tabs right here. The first one is GDP versus suicide rates, and second one is going to show us suicide profile. And the third one, we have suicide rate geographical map. And the last one is basically data. We're going to look at the data. Um, when we look at the data, basically the first one is going to show us how suicide rate and GDP is looking by country. So we do have a tab. It says you can select different countries for that. If you want to just look at the United Kingdom, you can see that how GDP and then suicide rate is changing. And we can go to the United States. We can visualize it how the GDP and suicide rate is changing. When I had a chance to look at the entire countries, and then the analysis to basically show me that there's no strong correlation between suicide rate and the GDP. However, several countries have some kind of negative correlation between suicide rate and GDP. And so you can see that by countries by just clicking here, different countries, how they look like. And the second tab that I have here, so you can see the total suicide rate and by GDP right here. So you can see that the data is basically the correlation suicide rate and GDP by country from 1985 to 2016. The data is basically the capture from the Kaggle. I'm going to show it to you how I get the data from the Kaggle. This is a link that I just wanted to put it there to everyone who wants to reach out the data. Um, as I said earlier, and second tab is showing us the GDP versus suicide rate by total. You can see that how it's related by year and by looking at the GDP rate and suicide. And second, the third tab that I have is basically suicide profile. So suicide profile is giving us how the suicide profile looks like. When you look at the right side right here, you can see the green circles are it's referring to the female, and then purplish one basically referring to the male. So you can see that over 75 years old and female versus the male. So when you look at the entire countries, you will see that dominant suicide age group is 75 plus years, and dominant the sixth group is men. You can basically select any country that you like to see right here, so you can see that how they are distinguishing. So you can see that right here, average rate, suicide rate, by looking at the age, and then um, and female and male, and you can just basically look at the different countries how they look like right here. So and also there's a tab that right here, so you can go over to from 1987 to 2015. So you can see that how it's changing suicide rate portfolio by changing the data, the time frame. When we look at the United States, it started from 1985, so you can see that how when you pay close attention to right here, so you can see that how the suicide rate is basically changing right here up to 2015, so you can see here. Um, one thing that I wanted to show is basically how the suicide rate looks like, and you can see the countries, the basically suicide rate per country right here. So you can see the dark blue one, it's rate fun. There's a lot of rating. When you look at the high suicide rate is Lithuania, which is a 40. The rest countries in the list of the countries with the the highest rate are developing northern countries, except Sri Lanka. So you can see that right here that we do have the highest rank is are changing by countries right here. You can see that. I'm assuming it's somewhere Lithuania right here. So by clicking, you can see right here is a 40. So this is the highest, the suicide rate. This is the country that has the highest suicide rate um, um, globally. And then, and also I want to show it to you how the data looks like. It might take a little bit of time, but at the same time, and also I can show it to you. Everything regarding to the final project is in the GitLab, and the way that I defined in a server that how the data and the GTP should be look like is basically the first thing that I did is basically preparing data, and I need to group by the year, age, sex, and country. You can see that from right here. I'm grouping by them, and then trying to plot from there. And then also the other thing that I have is basically rounding suicide rate, and then creating graph from there. So all the graphs that I'm plotting to data analysis is coming from here. And then I do have a user interface that how I created each bars panels. So when you look at it, so this is the data, how it looks like. So basically it started from 1987 to up to 2016 data. And data, it provide me that what countries, year, sex, age, etc. You can see the entire data. It's a quite large data. It takes a little bit of time to upload it, and the way that I put the user interface is basically I wanted to be able to show all the tables. The first one is basically the project introduction, and the second one is GDP versus suicide rate, and third one is suicide profiles and suicide rate geographical map and data. And the analysis basically give me the information that there's no correlation between suicide rate and GDP. However, as I said, several countries have some kind of negative correlation between suicide rate and GDP. And dominant suicide age group is 75 plus year, and the dominant sex group is men. Women's suicide rate significantly lower than men suicide rate, and you can see that by going to right here. So each country that you're going to do that, you're going to see close to the same information. And then the highest suicide rate is Lithuania, which is 40, but the rest countries in the list of countries with the highest suicide rate are developing northern countries. So thank you.